So I want you guys to have time to work, so let's get this going. First part you're going to see is Google Classroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys in Google Classroom right here what this thing looks like. So in classwork, you're going to see in Unit 1, Holes and Alternative Views. It says to recreate the drawings below using the proper dimensions in the drawing file. Create a full section view of the base plate, create a full section view of the drill block, and then download the PDF. The base plate is 1 inch thick. I forgot to put that in there. They look like this. This is what you're recreating. So the first thing you got to do is obviously redraw the part, and then do a drawing file for this one and for this one. There's 2. Okay? So what we're doing, I already put the video in there, so you guys should be good to go. But what you're going to see is this drawing. I'm going to do this first one here, and I'm going to leave this one up so you can see it. Okay? So I'm going to reference back to this thing. In Fusion, the first thing you got to understand is to draw this. Let's start there. Let's say I want to draw this thing, and how do we draw any of these holes? So let's say hypothetically I got this block. I press OK, and please don't do this while I'm doing it. I'm telling you, it's going to be way too hard to keep up. Finish sketch, extrude this. We'll make this like a certain thickness randomly. And now I have this block, right? The problem is with this block, you are going to go back into that sketch, and you're going to need to make, and you can see in the drawing over here, that I have all of the dimensions that I already plugged in. You need to draw where the holes are going to go. So for example, I have now a point on where that hole is going to go. I'm going to draw another line using the dimensions. I'm not putting the dimensions in, but you will be. So I got 2 little dots. I got a hole there and a hole there that I could put. Don't put circles in this view. Do not. Okay? Finish the sketch, and now the sketch goes away. Make sure that you come over here and you turn the eyeball back on. If you don't, those points will not be able to be selected when you do a hole. So now that I got the sketch on, now I can use those features or those dimensions to help me with my hole. So the holes are here. You go back to hole, and this pops up. Basically, the first thing that you see on the drawing, and I'll move this over here so we can see it. The first thing on the drawing, I'll do the center hole right here. The center hole says it's 0.8 through with a countersink of a diameter of 1.2 at 82 degrees, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first select where I want that hole to be at, and that's that point right there. Okay? The second thing I need to do is it says that it is 0.8 through. So through means it's going to go through the whole entire part. So I'm going to select all so that it goes through the whole entire thing. It's a countersink, which is here, not a counter bore. And then I'm going to leave the hole type tap is the same. Drill point always at an angle. Doesn't really matter, but leave it at an angle. And then it says the big part. The big part, countersink at a diameter of 1.2. That's that big diameter right here. So I'm going to change this to 1.2. And then it says at 1.2 at 82 degrees. This is already at 82 degrees, so I'm good there. Go back up to the first line. It says 0.8. 0.8 is the small one here. This doesn't need to be changed, and this doesn't need to be changed. Press OK, and now when I zoom in, you'll see that it counterbored into that part. Next part, hole again. Select the point. This one's a counter bore. Changes the depths and stuff. If I go back to the notes, it says the counter bore is 0.5. That's the big opening. The overall depth, it goes through the whole entire thing. So I change this from distance to all so that this goes to all. Whole entire part. The smaller distance, if I look back, it says it's 0.25. I'm good there. This doesn't need an angle. And this depth right here is basically the new part where it says that it goes down 0.2. So I press OK. And then as you can see, they have a counter bore and a countersink within that one piece of block.
That's incredible. That's crazy.
Make sure you guys listen to that part on the stream. It's hilarious. So we got a counter bore, we got a countersink, and we're good to go on those pieces, right? Any questions or concerns on that stuff?
Does the depth of the part matter?
Depth of the part does matter. So it says on there, on this one it doesn't tell you what the depth is. And I said on the activity it says 1 inch thick. On this one, I did tell you what it was in the drawing file. So make sure you look at that. Next part. We drew the part. Now we got to do the drawing file. Okay? So we're going to go to drawing, go to design, drawing file from design, just like we always do. ASME, inches, and C block size. Press OK. All you need in this one, you don't need to do the multi-view stuff that we've been doing. I would change this to 2:1. and then I would select the piece. Press OK. One thing I forgot I want to reference to. This has been happening a lot, and I want to make sure that you guys understand this concept. Let me go back into, let me draw another hole, I guess. Let me delete this one and draw this one. Let's say I got another hole that I just want randomly placed on that dot again. Okay, so let's say that it gives me this error, and a lot of you guys are having this today. It says no target body found to cut or intersect. If you have this error, that's because, look at this arrow that it's trying to cut the hole in. It's going into La La Land. It's not going into the part. If that happens, press this little button that says flip direction, and it'll flip it back into the opposite direction into the part. Okay? Make sure you guys do that. So I'm back into the sketch here. All you got to do here is what you've been learning for the last couple days. You're going to dimension this whole thing, and I already gave you the answers to that, so all you got to do is put it in there. The new stuff is the section. So if I come up here, you got base view, you're already done. Projected view, you've already done. Section view is the next one. You click section view. The first thing it asks you to do is to select the drawing, which we've already done because it's the only one available. And then we're going to cut a full section, 1 click, 2 clicks, and then you got this like funky elbow arm thing going off here. Right click and press continue. It'll automatically create the section of that view. Once you click again, you press OK. It creates that section view for you. Okay? These are on top. You can click once. Oops, let it load. Sorry, it's freaking out. You can click this. You can click this over here. You can move these over, do that kind of stuff. And then the last part is to actually dimension what you see here, the leading arrows. That's up here next to text. Basically, you press the A, you click the circles, and then you can type in pretty much whatever you want. The cool thing about this is that it gives you all the symbols for you. So you go to diameter, and then you press in this case, 0.8, and then 0.80 space, and then you can type in through, enter, and then it's a countersink. So we do countersink, and then we do diameter again, and then we do 1.2, and then we do times, and then we do 82, and then the degree symbol is up here as well. After that, you can realize that the text is way too small. You come down here to the gear, change the annotation text height to 0.24. Now we can all see what's going on. You submit this as a PDF for all 2, and you're good to go. Any questions or concerns? For all 2. This one, and you got the base plate and the drill block. You're going to do both. Okay? Any questions or concerns?